Hey, you guys. If you see my face, I'm pretty disgusted right now. I'm not doing a live now because lives don't get any videos. Nobody watches lives. They literally have my channel choked down. They only let a very, very few people even see it. And we know this because you look at the lives. I get 4 lives with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views, but all the rest of the lives, no, you got 35. Way to go. Really gonna let your voice get out there? It's like on Facebook. Facebook, they don't let me. I have zero freedom of speech in America. None. But I'm going to use it to defend against this corrupt, criminal government. Not defending Donald Trump. But if you still think what's happening to that man is lawful, you are the problem. They're going to make him, force him to pay $457 million cash bond by Monday, or they're going to take his properties in New York. Even though everything that happened in that court was criminal. Everything that they did to him in New York was criminal. Just like everything with the Fani Willis. You remember all the people that's been wrongly convicted by Fani Willis down in Georgia? Everything they did to people was criminal. They are Listen, I have been telling you and telling everyone for 10 years that the government has used lawfare, has used the feds, has used local law enforcement, has used local sheriffs, have used every tool in their toolbox to terrorize me, and you guys go, nope, 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 you're just crazy. You're schizophrenic. You're not Donald Trump. Look at Donald Trump. If they can take down a billionaire like Donald Trump who didn't break the law, then they squash me like a bug daily. And all the dumb sheep in America go, nope, he's just crazy turd gorilla who's got a list 3 pages long of targeted individuals that he attacks. Yet they don't throttle his videos. But targeted individuals like me, who've been on YouTube for 8 years now, I'm not allowed to have my free speech. Silence. Terms of service, YouTube, you can't attack people. But somehow Turd Gorilla gets away with it every day. The people that I helped destroy all 4 of my channels before, they're still out there attacking people every day. Did you hear the latest? Here's a problem. Trying to get Fani Willis removed from Donald Trump's case in Georgia, the corrupt cases, because he didn't do. It's not wrong to question an election. It's actually constitutionally protected activity to question an election. It's not illegal to do that. It isn't election interference. The last election was stolen, people, and if you don't believe that, you're getting ready to see it happen again. For all the people that hated Donald Trump before, now you're like, oh my God, I don't think I like gas being $4 a gallon, and it was $1.87 when Trump was in office. I wonder, are you going to be upset then? Are you going to say, oh no, it's only rigged this time? It wasn't really rigged in 2020 when the world, Vladimir Putin knows our election was stolen. Everyone around the world knows our election was stolen. You know why? Because every election in the world was stolen in 2020. Every person that was a tool of China, was put into office in 2020. Fani Willis, you remember her in Georgia? Fulton County, Georgia, one of the most corrupt DA offices in America. George Soros personality. Well, the judge in the case to remove her worked under her in her office, helped get her elected, and they let him stay on the case? Because you know what you do when you say, Judge, I want you to recuse yourself? Well, let me take that into advisement. No. Our corrupt system. So let me tell you, the people that have never been, and listen, my mother did not believe the system was corrupt until she went to court with me 4 or 5 different times during my, when I was fighting for my kids. She had no idea. All she knew was Law and Order on TV. Look, those good police guys and the good people at the DA's office is taking down the bad people. And look, that judge, sometimes the judge gets it wrong, but most of the time the judge gets it right. But the juries can be wrong sometimes, but the judge will always fix it. There's never a corrupt judge, and the DAs are almost always really good guys. This is 95% of the right in America. 95% of the Republicans in America, until now, think that cops can do no wrong and the judicial system isn't broke. They're just a bunch of criminals out there. When you outlaw everything, everyone's a criminal. Did you know that Fannie Willis, she went to college? Guess who she went to college with? Guess who was in Fannie Willis's sorority? You'll never guess. Kamala Harris. Oh, Kamala wasn't a Harris then. She had a long Jamaican name. I think she's Indian. Right? No, that's Nikki. That's Nimaraja Nahana Potochurch. No. Kamala Harris was roommates with Fannie Willis. You see how it all ties together? You see, because the corrupt stick with the corrupt. They know each other's dirty secrets, so just like, and you'll see this bit by George Carlin when he was on Bill Maher's show years and years ago, but when Bill Maher was still an idiot. Well, George Carlin was on and says, these people don't have to get together and come up with a conspiracy. They all think the same. They all went to the same colleges. They all have the same the same mindset on the world. One knows what the other one should do. They all think in the same hive mind. This is George Carlin saying this to Bill Maher, and Bill Maher was like, oh yeah, this is not a conspiracy. These people don't have to have a meeting of the minds to know that they all share the same goal. Destroy the weak and make the rich prosper more, because that's how they get rich. They stomp on the throats of the weak. So yeah. So they set Donald Trump up and they wiped him out. And for all the people to say, well, Donald Trump had the chance to fight the illegal votes, and the court said, nope, there was no stealing of the election. Well, that doesn't happen either. The courts refused to listen to the claims of the plaintiffs. The courts refused. Nope, not going to do it. Why? Because John Roberts, elected by Bush, who's a war criminal who had millions and millions of Iraqis and hundreds of thousands of American troops murdered. George Bush, who put him in there, John Roberts, the head of the Supreme Court. Did you know that the Supreme Court, they're not the ones who decide which cases they hear? Did you know that? No, the interns decide which cases the Supreme Court listens to. Does that make sense? Did you know that? I was shocked when I heard it. John Roberts, the same John Roberts who is a kitty diddler. Did you know that? Oh, yes. You see, that was on Millennial Millie, a former CIA agent who helped Millie Weaver, that came on her show and exposed the corrupt judges, that exposed the algorithm that picks these juries to ensure the verdict of their choosing. That guy on Millie Weaver said, oh yeah, they got this algorithm that picks the juries, however the DA wants the juries, that's the jury it picks. He said, oh yeah, John Roberts has been corrupt for many, 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 many years. That's why you wonder, why is the Supreme Court voting the way they are? It just doesn't make sense. Now, of course, you know, the Supreme Court's got Sotomayor and another Ketanji Jackson Brown, or Brown Jackson that Joe Biden put on there, she didn't know what a woman was. She was in court last week over a First Amendment about the government's overreach and how they were censoring the American people. And Ketanji Brown she said, well, it's almost as if the plaintiff, the people who are suing the federal government, it's almost like the plaintiff is trying to argue that the Constitution has the right to limit the government's power. That's absurd. The Constitution doesn't restrain government. It restrains the people. No! The Constitution is there to protect us. So why does government always use it to protect them? This woman's on the Supreme Court. And the reason why? Because she's black. Joe Biden said it from his lips. I'm putting a black woman on the Supreme Court. You're never going to believe why I'm so upset. So everything, just like the election, no one heard the cases where it could be proven. Here's an easiest one that you can think. When we went to bed on election night, Donald Trump was the clear winner by millions of votes. And at 4 a.m., all of a sudden, they found a bunch of ballots. They just found them. And 99 out of 100 went for Joe Biden. And it was always just enough to be outside the margin of error. Why? Because it's rigged. It's all rigged. If voting worked, they wouldn't let us do it. If voting mattered, they wouldn't give us the opportunity. But here's the scale. Here's the litmus test. Donald Trump got over 70 million votes, the highest in American history. They claim Joe Biden got 80 million. That's 20 million more votes than Barack Obama. Were you an idiot that voted for Barack? I saw that one coming. But what do I know? I'm just the guy on the recliner that's got a weird accent that pisses everybody off. It's a detriment to be this intelligent. But, no one else would agree with that statement. But the reason for my anger tonight, besides the obvious, is the corrupt judicial system, because I have been bent backwards. I've had judges and lawyers reach up inside of my rectum and grab me by the throat and pull me inside out. My children stolen from me for why? I was watching, and many of you agree and disagree with me on many different varieties of subjects, but you may say it's low-hanging fruit. I watch government accountability. I watch First Amendment audits. There's many First Amendment audits that I would love to slay on this little video. And there's one that I would have slayed myself 2 years ago. I just watched the Chile DeCastro case. Chile DeCastro from Delete Laws. Now, if you're in the community, you know that James Freeman went to Chile's ass, and Chile does a lot of things. If you don't know, I'll link the trial for you. Chile does a lot of things that really give me the creeps. I'm not a naturally rude person, but he'll go and he'll film cops, and he's always got headphones on his head. And when he'll go up and he'll start talking to, he says, "Copper, hey, Copper." He'll start talking to him, but he'll turn around this way, take his phone, and have him and the cop in the video at the same time saying, "Yeah, Copper, what's going on? Yeah, what do you think?" And then turn around and get the cop talking. He'll turn back around and talk to the camera, and it's cringy. It makes me cringe. It makes me cringe. And when somebody says, "I'm a constitutional law scholar," well, that sounds silly, but someone else gave him that name. But then I started watching, because he is a little, he gets out ahead of his skis, and I'll give him that. But people attacked him because he was, well, you're trying to make money off of other people's dilemmas. Chile's making money by going out and supposedly filing lawsuits for people. Well, listen, let me tell you this much. For all the negative that people attributed to me for having a YouTube channel, just for asking for donations to try to help others, I saw that most of the people that were commenting were corrupt. They're corrupt. They're evil. They don't think that a man, because, and the Bible says the same thing, that they will attribute their sins to your life. So Chile, he's just being selfish. He don't really want to help anybody. He's just greedy. He's just trying to get YouTube fame. Well, he didn't need it. He was already famous on TikTok. But he goes around and helps these people. I mean, Ironton, Ohio, he goes in that town and blows the place up. Cops are fired. Cops are arrested. The chief of police retires. I mean, corrupt judges. I mean, he wrecked that place because the place needed to be wrecked. And it was solely because he gave a voice to those that are too weak or scared to stand up. You see, in America, in the last 8 or 10 years, I have watched the comment sections because people hated me, and they still hate me in the comment. You could ask Tina, she'll tell you, I can be one comment out of 1,000,000 comments, and I'll have 50,000 people attacking me. I've been watching cop shows and auditing and all this stuff for years. And 8 years ago, it was 96% of people worshipped the ground law enforcement walked on. If they busted a 14-year-old kid at school with a dime bag of weed, yes! He's a hardcore criminal. We got to take him down. We got to put him in prison. Learn fast, young man. You need probation and drug tests for the next 10 years to get you straightened out. That was the comment section 8 years ago. But it was me on the other side saying, we're going to wreck a kid's life. He's too young to even realize if he did something wrong. You know, when I got my first DUI, I had no idea what DUI meant. I did not know what felony meant when I got a felony. I had no clue. I didn't know what a felony. Well, you're not going to be able to own real guns. You're not going to be able to vote. You're going to have the stigma over your head for the rest of your life that you're a felon. You're not going to have the privileges, and you're going to be treated like a second-class citizen the entire rest of your life. $17, 18 years old, I had no clue. So, Chile DeCastro, you may think is low-hanging fruit if you know who he is. And like I said, he's cringy. But I firmly believe, and he tells the story of what started him in accountability. Listen, people aren't born. They don't come out of their mother's womb and say, I hate cops. It don't happen. They get abused. They get violated, or they see that one of their friends and families beaten, abused, or violated. That's what creates activists. It isn't just the world that creates activists. It's a bad cop, bad system, bad judges, bad law that creates people like me, activists. Chile's in Las Vegas. He walks up on a traffic stop. A Las Vegas pig, a terror pig. We need to let that go. I'm going to make t-shirts. Terror, Terror, terror pig. Terror pig, like terrorist, except terror pig. I'm going to make t-shirts. I just haven't had time because everything I own is broke. Terror pig says, back up! Get back! Move! Chile's standing 12 feet away. You see, if we, I mean, we're under the delusion that we actually have First Amendment rights. We don't. The chief of police here in my town threatened to arrest me. I've still yet to play that audio. I don't know why I'm still lacking because I need to get the lawsuit done, but I just can't sit down and write it out. I need to. I filed my intent to sue. So the cop orders him, get back! What's an unlawful order? Because Chile was talking to the woman in the police car. And if you'll go to Chile's, and I'll tell you, people attack him all the time, just like they attack me. Oh, cops are here to protect us. They're the heroes. Cops are not heroes. They're cowards. You know, it used to be. And here's the bad part. That 30 years ago, cops would take a bullet. Now, they're terrified of their own shadow. Oh, no! Stay away! Get back! Officer safety! Officer safety! This cop runs up. Chili talked to the woman in the car. Hey, are you okay? Shut up! Cop says, shut up, you can't talk to her! Don't talk to her! Well, that's an unlawful order. Back up! Unlawful order. The cop gives Chili all these unlawful orders. And then finally says, oh, I'm going to arrest you. Tries to go hands on. The dude's standing there with 2 cameras in his hands, not breaking the law. Plenty far enough back. But the cop goes hands on. Assaults him. More cops show up. Assaults him. Grabs him. Puts him in torture cuffs. Arrests him. Now Chili sees his court date today. Soon as Chili gets into court, the corrupt judge. And listen, we got a problem in America when it comes to judges. Did you know some judges, they don't have to go to law school? Did you know that? Some are elected. You could just be me. No law degree, no nothing, and just get elected. Well, my friends got me here. Or my family works for the police department. They said I'd be a good judge. Here I am. Most of them only have to have a GED or a high school diploma to wage war on your rights. Just like cops. I got my 6 weeks of training. Whose life can I destroy today? It takes more. It takes 2 years of training to be a beautician or a hairstylist, a cosmetologist. 2 years of training. But for a person that may give you a bad hairdo, cops can destroy your life, murder you, kill you, and get away with it for 6 weeks at the academy. And when they come out of there, the only thing they're taught is anything you say is a lawful order, and everybody is suspicious. That's what they teach at the academy. They'll send them to the range, just spray and pray. So, pow, 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 pow. Cops, you ever see a shootout? If the cops get to a shootout, they blow up everything. Why? Because they're not fined or reprimanded for every bullet that goes out of range. If you can't shoot that target where it needs to be shot, you shouldn't have a gun. Soon as Chili walks up in the court, and his lawyer failed him miserably. Chili walks up in the courtroom, and he's already been escorted out and shoved into handcuffs by a corrupt cop 4. The judge orders the corrupt bailiff to run up to him and go through his pockets. Undo all your pockets. You're not going to record this. There are people filming it already that got permission. Chili's just there in his suit. Yeah, take everything out of your pockets. We're going to make sure you're not going to record this. The judge is instantly in his ass before court starts. And his lawyer doesn't say, Your Honor, we want you to recuse. Not a word. The judge goes off on Chili before the case begins. And then when the case begins, the DA is just asking questions. Chili's attorney did not. The fix was in. Corrupt judge, corrupt DA, and his attorney did not object to anything the district attorney said. He objected not one time. And the cop was just like, well, I told him that he couldn't speak. I told him he had to stand back. The scared little piggy admitted all his faults, but he never said a crime that Chili committed. But when Chili's lawyer is asking the questions, every question he asked, and it was just like Fulton County, Georgia. The same setup as in Fulton County, Georgia, where the judge and the DA is working together. Because you know what? This is the way it's supposed to be. Judges should be separate from the state. The judges should be their own entity. But no, not in America anymore. That's the way it was set up, where the judges by themselves, the DAs by themselves, and the defense is by themselves. But not in America any longer. Now it's the judge and the DA and the state are all one agency, all one big beast, ready to take down the one defendant. Everything Chili's attorney would ask the cop and ask Chili. Object, object, I object, I object. And the judge only sustained or only overruled one objection during the whole hour and 30-minute trial. Would not let him explain his First Amendment right, would not let him explain his activism, wouldn't let him explain anything. Obstruction is a physical act. So what do you think? Chile turned down a plea bargain of $500 and I think maybe a little unsupervised probation. Why? Because he knew by the law standards and an uncorrupted, unbiased judge that he would have been set free. Now, all the law and crime channels on TV, all of them on the internet, law and crime especially, and that's what the channel I watched it on, they were all like, well, Chile actually did violate this Las Vegas code, so, he's looking at hard times. Why? Because here's the problem with this other aspect of the case, is because legacy media, the mainstream media, hates people like me, hates people like Chile DeCastro, just like the cop said in the trial. Well, regular media always comes up and gets permission, and we have a good working relationship, and they always listen to me, and they would come up respectfully. Chile walked up, stood there silently, and pointed a camera. Didn't say anything to the cop. He asked the girl in the car when the cop was in the cop car, "Are you okay?" That's all he did. Legacy media. I'll take you guys out to eat if you can give me a scoop. Well, we're going to make you guys look. I know you guys killed that little black kid last week, but we're Channel 36. We're going to make you look good. We got you covered. It's like all the people that go around Grady Jug down in Florida. Grady Jug, you ever heard of him? Polk County, Florida. Oh, the media loves him, and they love each other, and they will cover Grady Judd's ass. Every time they murder somebody, they cover his ass. Well, it looks like the guy could have been dangerous. Oh my! Oh. I listened to about 3 sentences of the judge's decision. I was in the comments, and unfortunately, the comments, these people are cheering for Chile, who hurt no one that day. He didn't steal, he didn't rob, he didn't hurt, he didn't kill anybody that day. He stood on a public parking lot and held a camera. And the comment section under that video, people cheering that another human was thrown in a cage for 90 days. 90 days. Did you know they let child molesters off for less? You can go out and SA, because we're not allowed to say it, you can go out and SA a child right now and not spend that much time. Did you know that? Chile stood there with a camera and hurt a terror pig's feelings. His attorney even asked the terror pig, "Did he hurt your feelings?" "No, I'm not swayed by feelings." Well, of course it hurt his feelings. This terror pig in court said, "Well, he was standing 20 feet away and I could see the veins bulging out of his neck. I was scared for my safety. I was scared because it's my job to keep the woman in the car safe." No, it's not. Did Chile's attorney say, no, case law says, Supreme Court says you're not responsible for anyone's safety? You know why Chile was there? To defend and protect the safety of the woman in the car that the cop had pulled over, because cops love getting scared and shooting people. You tell me in America there has not been one case of a male person, male man or male woman, shooting a person's dog in the 100, 200 years the post office has been in business? Not one case of somebody, a male person, shooting a dog, but every day in America, cops murder hundreds? Just like Chile said in the trial, well, Mr. Scaredy Pants, look, the cop's scared of everything. I'm scared of this, scared of that. He could have had a gun. He could have had this. And the first 2 or 3 sentences for the judges, well, the cop was scared. He could have had a gun. Chile could have had all these, but he didn't. He had a camera. He had 2 cameras. I don't know about you, but I'm not one to take my camera and go out and commit crime. The American people, these cop-loving, blue badge banging copsuckers cheering that a man holding a camera is in prison today, in county jail, for holding a camera. He should have listened. He should have listened. You can't insult cops. The first 3 sentences that judge said was nothing but feelings. Feelings. The judge and the DA said, oh, this isn't a First Amendment case. If you're holding a camera and you're telling him, I am the news. By the way, if you didn't know, a journalist is the only job protected by the Constitution. The only one. When somebody says, oh, I'm exercising my First Amendment right, every law enforcement terror pig in America should say, oh, whoa, let me slow down. Oh, they don't have time. They don't have time to stop. They can't be bothered. You know, when cops are standing around and doing nothing, or like harassing people, well, I got all night. I'm on the clock. I'm getting paid whether I'm out there or I'm sitting here watching you. But every single situation when they want to extort somebody or put them in a cage, it's we gotta hurry. You're taking up my time. You're distracting me. You're obstructing my investigation. You're the ooh. So I'm gonna cue the video, and I'm gonna let you listen because I haven't heard the rest of it yet. I haven't even heard the rest of it yet. But you're gonna see how corrupt this judge is. Okay? You're going to listen. You're going to hear her say nothing but feelings. That's all she has to say is feelings. I'm so upset right now. Chile's sitting in jail today for holding a camera. And what makes me mad is the dumb sheep in America think if they're just nice to cops, that the cops aren't going to mess with them. You don't have to break the law to go to jail in America. You don't have to do that. No one cares. It's. I just know how. I know how corrupt the system is. So I stopped it right where it was. I'm going to rewind it and let you get back, and you're going to listen to the judge straight up, and we're going to go from there. Like I said, Chile's attorney failed him miserably. They already had the appeal in the mail, but we need to start having panels. Listen, just take what I'm saying as me just blowing smoke in the air, because nobody's going to listen to me. And they're not going to change it because they love the system the way it is, because they can lock anybody if they want to. But we need to start having, just like these citizen review boards, where these citizen review boards in America are a joke. It's a bunch of old people who are worried about feelings. Oh, well, that cop, you got to listen to the cop. The cop tells you something, you got to listen. Well, if you hurt the feeling, you got to. No, we don't know laws. I watched one a while back from another YouTube channel. This kid's in front of there telling the citizen review board. The cop was in his face, calling him names, cussing him out, refusing to obey the law. The kid was telling him what the law was. Well, you should have let the cop alone because you said F you to the cop, and you can't do that. It's a crime to cuss a cop out. The laws are set, and then when the people like Chile and me, when we follow the laws, they move the goalposts and say, well, you hurt my feelings while you was following the law, so that means you weren't following the law. So I'm going to let you hear this corrupt judge, and then I'll link the video. Okay?
DeCastro conceded. The problem with the argument that your attorney makes is it completely fails to consider the safety of the officer and the safety of the driver.
Safety. This corrupt cunt, forgive me, Lord, this corrupt cunt thinks it's Chile DeCastro, this cunt, this foul-faced bitch right here, thinks it's his job to make the pig and the woman in the car safe. This dog-faced bitch. It's Chile's job not to make them feel unsafe?
The officer doesn't know who you are, and the driver doesn't know who you are. And you don't have any right to interfere with that officer.
Chile doesn't have any right to stand there with a camera and record. That's what he did. You'll see it. He stood there with a camera and recorded. This judge, this dog-faced bitch right here, you see her? Feelings. You hurt that cop's feelings, and you can't do that.
Doing his investigation and deciding if he wants to issue a ticket to this driver. And you also don't have any business approaching the driver. The driver didn't.
Nothing she says is case law. There's not one law in the books that says you can't walk up to a driver during a traffic stop and talk to the driver. The judge doesn't even know the law she's trying to enforce. There's not a law that says you can't walk up to a driver during a traffic stop and talk. It's not on the books. This dog-faced bitch doesn't know the law. So why is she a judge?
Ask you for help. The driver didn't say, help, help. You didn't see an altercation happening between the officer and this driver.
So if he saw the cop beating up the driver, could Chile step in then? Could he? No, he couldn't.
The officer didn't protest that you were filming.
Yes, he did.
Filming.
Yeah, he did.
Filmed.
Yeah, he did.
Fine. All right. But you did interfere with his investigation. You did interfere with his ability to do his job.
He stood there with a camera recording the stop. When he walks up on scene, the cop, the terror pig, the coward bitch that he is sitting in the car running. He said, I was running her record to see if she deserved a ticket. This is his testimony. I was running a record to see if she deserved her ticket or not. Shouldn't it be you were running her record? For what reason? Because the Supreme Court has said that you cannot punish someone for a crime they committed in the past. So everything the cop said is wrong. Everything this dog-faced bitch is saying is wrong. The cop said, I was running her record to see if I should give her another ticket. Because she drives bad. Because she drove bad before, she's driving bad now. And it's going to be easy for me to stick this to her in a court of law later.
You did put him in a position where he is concerned for his safety and the safety of the driver.
Feelings. You filmed the cop, and he was scared. So because the cop was scared, he had a reason to arrest you, Chile DeCastro.
So I believe the state's met their burden beyond reasonable doubt. I'm going to find you guilty of obstructing a public officer and resisting a public officer. So I'd like to hear from the state and then your attorney prior to sentencing.
How do you think it's going to go? In America, there's supposed to be justice. Now, if you watch my channel at any length, you know there is no justice in America when some dog-faced bitch like this right here, her, no skin in the game, who doesn't know law, refused to hear this case as a First Amendment issue when the whole thing was a First Amendment issue. The whole thing. If Chile was standing there without a camera in his hand, you know what would have happened? Nothing. Nothing at all. Now, I'm sure the bitch cop, the scaredy cat, I'm sure he would have said, leave me alone right away. But this woman who knows nothing about the law is going to listen to the DA. And listen, if you watch this, I'm going to share the link. If you watch this case, I want you to watch it. And you'll see, well, this biased, corrupt judge right here never but one time overruled an objection from the DA. One time out of 30 objections did she overrule the DA. Why? Because she works for the state. She's supposed to be an unbiased member of the bar. She's supposed to be up here deciding between this person and this person. These people on equal standing when they walk in. The plaintiff and the defendant, the DA and the defense are supposed to be on equal and level standing, and the judge is supposed to be back here separate from them two, making an unbiased judgment, an unbiased declare on what happened. But she works for the state. She works with the DA to get money and treasure and blood if necessary. And Chile DeCastro is enemy number one for standing up and taking down corrupt pigs like her.
Your Honor, in terms of sentencing, I would ask the defendant enter and complete an impulse.
Now, here's how the state gets you every time. The state, like the court, well, they got other parts of the state that need to get money, need to get revenue. See, because they did this to me. So I called social services on my ex-wife because she was staying out all night in drug houses with my children, my little baby girl, my youngest daughter when she was 2. She was staying out all night long. So I called social services because law enforcement wouldn't help. They said call social services. I called social services to get help. You know what they did to me? Guess what? They sent me to a place called First Step in North Carolina, Hickory, North Carolina. And in this place is a bunch of hateful women that are not married, and they hate men. In this class, when you go there, if you pat your girlfriend or your wife on the butt, if you pat them on the butt and tell them you love them, that's sexual abuse. So what they do, this bitch and this bitch here, is they have to generate revenue for other parts of the state. So what she's going to do is, Chile DeCastro, because he dared to film our Nazi guard trying to, the Gestapo trying to take the Jews in, because he dared to stand up, he needs training in impulse control. So now Chile's going to have to probably spend $2,500 taking classes from another government agent of how you shouldn't dare question government agents.
Class, I would ask that the court levy a $500 fine.
$500 fine?
Service. I would ask that the defendant be ordered to stay out of trouble.
Stay out of trouble! Don't piss off the government, Chile. Stay out of trouble and don't make the government mad. So what they're going to do, so right now, what she just said is, we're going to send you to another government agency to spend your money, and they're going to tell you, we're going to retrain your mind, Chile. We're going to change the way you think. 1984, where's George Orwell hiding? How did he know America would come to this? And then we're going to take some of his money, $500, and then we're going to put you in a situation that if you dare try to speak out, Chile DeCastro, if you dare say anything to the government that we don't like because you got this order over you now, then you're going to violate too, and we're going to arrest you again. And we're going to go send you for retraining again.
I would ask for a 90-day suspended sentence.
90-day suspended sentence?
And that's to each count for one concurrent.
To each count concurrent. What does that mean? 90 days in jail for filming. 90 days in jail, anger management, and a $500 fine for filming in public.
For these offenses. Even if the court concludes, and the court did conclude that he didn't have the right to do what he did, I think the court can see that he sincerely believed that he had the right to do so. That's based on his past experiences and the training he's received in reference to the First Amendment. I don't think there was any intent from the defendant to engage in any wrongdoing in this case, Your Honor. And that being the case, especially because of the public policy interests at issue.
So when you say he doesn't wish to engage in any wrongdoing, it seems to me from observing.
She won't even let his attorney speak up. Did she interfere with the DA? Did she say anything to interrupt the DA while she was talking? Not one word. But as soon as this guy who doesn't have any balls in his pants either, tries to make the case of why this sentence is too harsh, this dog-faced bitch right here is going to shut him down.
In the video that he wants this. He wants to get arrested. He wants to get into a...
Now, how would she know that? Because she's been watching his channel, and she doesn't like that he called her corrupt. He doesn't like that Chile stands up against her system. She doesn't like that Chile doesn't like that she's corrupt. Are you getting it yet? Biased from the word go. Biased. And remember, this is his time to speak. His time, and she's interrupted him.
Altercation with police officers. He welcomes this. This helps his YouTube channel.
And let me tell you this. I don't make any money off YouTube, never have. So if you're on YouTube and you hold a camera, oh, you're just doing this for clicks and views. Let me tell you this much, people. When you sue the government, the case can take 10 years to go through. If a cop kills you, that case will take 10 years to go through. But if you touch a cop, it could be tomorrow when the case starts or a year and a half. Okay? It's justice is quick when it serves the rulers. But when it's you and me, justice doesn't come until there's no outrage left. Oh, is that still going on? Oh, really? You're suing them? I thought that was over. God, I hate people. God is going to send me to hell because I hate to see people taken advantage of. I hate to see people cheated. I hate to see people murdered. Every day, 100 times a day, I watch on this TV. And I watch cops kill people. I watch cops abuse people. I watch like these predator videos where these guys, even as dumb as Alex Rosen is, that big dumb freaking leprechaun, standing there with his ugly red head and his goddamn 800-pound McDonald-filled ass stands there and hands a case over to the cops where a pedophile admits to having child porn on his very phone, and the cops say, well, we know he's a pedophile. We know that he just admitted to having child porn on his phone, but I'm worried about his Fourth Amendment right now. I hate to see evil prevail. I mean, it affects me that people think that this is okay. This does not happen in other countries. Do you understand me? What happens in America doesn't happen anywhere else in the world.
All the officers here in my courtroom today pigs. He called me, and he's nodding his head up and down. So apparently he hates every law enforcement officer in the United States. All right, please stand up, sir. Are you finished with your request for credit for time served?
I would just emphasize, Your Honor, that...
See, no guts. He's a coward.
Testified and he sincerely believes that he is providing a public service.
See, his attorney doesn't even believe in him. He said, well, he sincerely believes it's a public service, but his attorney can't even say it. His attorney won't say, Your Honor, he has brought change. He has had bad cops removed. He's had judges removed. He's done things to help the people that were hurt by the system. This coward of an attorney can't even say that. Well, Chile believes it, but I'm getting paid. What do I care? I'm calling the lawyer tomorrow, and if you have any guts, you'll call the lawyer's office tomorrow and burn his phone lines up and let them know that he is an embarrassment to the bar. He's an embarrassment to a goddamn defense. Chile could have put up a better defense, but guess what? None of it would have mattered with this dog-faced bitch right here. Nothing Chile could have said. He could have come in there and licked the boots of every pig in that building, and she still would have put him in jail.
Reviews and films these incidents. I understand the court may have a different view of that, but when we're talking about First Amendment public policy issues such as
Look,
supervising,
it makes her mad.
involved in government,
As soon as he said the First Amendment, See, if I don't interrupt the video, because I hate it when people do this too, if I don't interrupt it, then Law and Crime will shut my video down because nobody's going to watch it anyway. Ain't going to be 25 people. But you should share this to every First Amendment auditor channel out there. Here's the deal. James Freeman, any and all the channels, share it to them. They're not going to share it. I asked them for help. They wouldn't do shit for me either. They don't care unless they can make big money on it. They're not going to listen to, oh, you're just too opinionated. You just stand up. You're just old school. We got to be careful feelings. We got to be careful about hurting somebody's, upsetting their sensibilities. Look at the look on her face. She hates the First Amendment. She hates anybody standing up against her system.
I think that is something the court can take into consideration, not to have a show like that. Let's get out of there.
Watch this travesty. Stand up so I can stick it in your ass.
90 days in the Clark County Detention Center on count 1, 90 days in the Clark County Detention Center on count 2, to run consecutive for a total of 108 days in custody. Thank you.
Sentence suspended or?
Oh, no. Okay, sorry.
180 days for holding a camera. In America, 180 days for holding a camera and filming law enforcement. Just like with Donald Trump, $457 million you got to pay up front to keep your buildings. Don't trust a billionaire. There's not $457 million cash in an American bank, 20 of them combined. 180 days for holding a camera by this dog-faced bitch right here.
Right now.
And the bitch walks off. Look at that coward.
Travesty of justice. People that don't like police.
Look, this is the guy who arrested him already before.
Yeah. Can I get my keys up? What?
Look how stupid he is. He didn't even try. Are American jails not filled up already for bad stuff? Illegal aliens coming over the border by the millions. Fentanyl killing millions of Americans. More people been killed by fentanyl than any war in the last 50 years. But they're walking around. Child predators walking around. Joe Biden, trafficking humans, trafficking children in America, free to do what they want. Corrupt judges do anything they want. Fannie Willis steals the state's money, puts it in her boyfriend's pocket, and then goes on vacation all over the freaking world. Free to go. Chile DeCastro holds a camera and refuses an unlawful order. And the American people cheer this travesty of justice on. If I say what just come into my head right now, I'd be right there with him. I'll link the video. Read the comment section and tell me what kind of person, what kind of American does it take to be happy that a man who didn't hit anybody, who didn't steal anything, who didn't damage property, who didn't do any of the 5 deadly sins, what type of an American, or even just human, cheers and relishes, that you'll see in the comment section, another human put in a cage for 180 days? God bless.